Hello, everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central, and in a slightly different situation here, starting the Norwich City Central show. And look who I've got to my right. It's Doeke. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really, really, really good. Really looking forward to the Premier League season starting. Really excited to see Norwich City play in the big time again, and I reckon we'll give it a good go this time. So I'm all good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to Carrow Road. Getting off the train. Going to the pub, seeing families again, and that roar when on the ball City starts. That'll be something special, won't it?
Yeah, that's going to be emotional. I'll probably shed a tear at that point. I can't lie.
Yeah,
I've already told everyone not to laugh at me, so I will probably shed a tear. But then again, I think
yeah.
everyone is in the same boat as myself. So yeah,
Yeah, you'll just have grown men in the Barclay, just tears coming down, scarves up. It's just going to be a beautiful sight, mate.
it really, really is, and I think that just epitomises what football means to the fans. To be honest, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Thank you to everyone who's joined the stream. I hope you're all doing very well. Starting a new show today. I thought I'd try something new. The plan is to do these kind of once a week after games. Of course, there's no football to talk about at the moment. We've got the transfer window, which has been a little bit eventful, which of course we're going to get into, and then of course the game. So hopefully we'll be doing one again next week, talking about when Norwich, thrashed Liverpool 3-0. Josh Sargent just doing the salute to the Barclay. Ducker, I can see the goosebumps on your.
You're getting me excited. You're getting me excited when you talk about Josh Sargent. I think he's going to be an absolute player for us, and I honestly do think I can't wait because I can see it happening. I'm manifesting it right now. 90th minute comes along. It's 0-0. We've defended valiantly, and it's Josh Sargent. And we've got a corner. Josh Sargent rises high, puts one in front of the Barclay, and just salutes the Barclay and just gives the middle fingers to the Liverpool fans. And I'm all for it. Absolutely inject it in my veins.
Yeah, I love that, mate. I love that. But thank you to everyone who's joined the stream. And please leave your questions down below in the comment section. We've got a lot to get through. We'll start by talking about the transfer window, and then Liverpool, and then answer some of your questions from the Q&A section as well. If you are new, subscribe to Norwich City Central, and Ducker, you've got your own channel as well. I think I've got your link in the description. Do you want to talk a bit about that, mate, before we begin?
So my channel is literally just my name. So the name, I don't know if it's on screen for you guys on YouTube watching, but that is literally the channel name. I cover Norwich content as well, and obviously go match day experiences. I go home and away with Norwich near enough every game. So you have match day experiences every weekend when Norwich play near enough. And lots of interesting content over there, similar to what Lewis does on Norwich City Central, but with a bit of a twist, I say as well. It's not the same sort of content. So, but go check it out, go subscribe if you're a Norwich fan. It would mean the world to me.
That's nice, mate. Are you going to Man City?
Of course, mate. Tickets were bought today. I've done it as the match pick because it's the first away game, so I was like, absolutely, we'll just put that on as a match pick. I'm the elite 750, so to speak, already. So I'm guaranteed a ticket to every away game. So I just thought I'd just pick the match pick as the first one. So Man City's already been bought. Buzzing for it.
There we go. That's an incentive for you to subscribe to Ducker to see, limbs at the Etihad. Definitely go in and check that out. Let's start by talking about the transfer window, mate. How do you feel about it so far? I think it's always really hard to review a situation when you're midway through a season, midway through the transfer window. Sorry. So how would you review it so far? Has it been a good window for Norwich? A bad one? It's been so long. It's a really difficult.
It's been mediocre. It's been very, very mediocre, if I'm perfectly honest. I think there's positions that we still need to fill in terms of squad depth and actual solidity defensively. If I'm honest, I think there's a bit still. Oh God. I think I think there's a big hole still to be filled in Oliver Skipp. I think we haven't filled that hole. I think Billy Gilmour is a player that could fill that role, but I think he's more of an attacking-minded player. But on a whole, I think we've done well in terms of replacing Emi Buendia. Obviously, the whole situation, I think it was always bound that he was going to leave either last season or this season, this transfer window even. And I think the money we got for him is probably the right price. I think 40 million is probably a fair price for Emi Buendia. I think he was a player that maybe wanted to leave, and Villa wanted him, so it It worked for both parties. We've got the money and we've been able to sign the likes of Josh Sargent, who will be announced tomorrow, I believe, and Christoph Zolis, who will be announced later this week. And obviously, you know, Billy Gilmore's come in, Pierre-Lise Malou, who is now, you know, he's my favourite player. He's a fan's favourite already. And, you know, son Angus Gunn back and Milo Rashica, who I think will come good. Obviously, we haven't seen the best of him in pre-season so far, but he is a player that I'm excited to see. I think he will become good, but we've got to take time. We've got a lot of players coming in from foreign countries. I think we've also got to remember the likes of Rancic. You know, they didn't adapt instantly. It took them time. And I think we've got to allow that time for the likes of Rashica, the likes of Zolis and Sargent. Although I think, you know, some of them may hit the ground running, some won't. You even look at Buendia. When Buendia first joined, he didn't hit the ground running. You know, he wasn't firing goals and assists left, right, and centre when he started. But as he adapted into the game, adapted to English football, obviously we saw that quality come through. I'm just hoping for the likes, for the sake of these new signings, that they adapt as quick as they can, and so we can give ourselves the best fighting chance possible to stay in this division.
Yeah, that's it, mate. You want to see your signings, you know, hit the ground running. And 2 years ago in the Premier League, cast your mind back to that kind of transfer window where we were signing Josip Drmic and Amadou. On paper, they looked okay, but yeah, we was waiting quite a few tomorrows to see Josip Drmic, you know, try and bag a goal. So yeah, it was a really difficult one. I think, as you say, this transfer window has been better, but there's definitely a few gaps to still plug in for me, particularly a centre back and a central defensive midfielder. And yeah, as you said about Buendia, mate, I think Buendia is such a tough one because I think he was always going to leave. I'm really surprised he went to Aston Villa. I know Aston Villa have got aspirations for European football, but I just love watching him play, and for me, he should be playing in Europe as a starter. And yeah, it's so hard to kind of fill that Buendia hole. So do you think we're going to be able to do that in Zulis and Rashica? We've got a few comments coming in. So yeah, thanks for all your comments, and please feel free to put them in. Super Skills Beast, you're a beast. Thank you very much, my friend. And yeah, on that point on the Buendia situation, opinions on Rashica's pre-season. What do you make of Rashica? He's kind of the guy to kind of come in for Buendia. Obviously, you got Zulis. Fingers crossed will be announced very soon. How do you feel about Milot Rashica? Because he's big money, £10 million.
Yeah, and I think we've gone about the Buendia transfer in a very, very similar way to Aston Villa have gone in the Jack Grealish transfer, in the sense of signed 3 players to replace one, to replace all Emi Buendia's attributes. We know how good he is. You know, you've got to have that creativity, you have to have the movement, and you have to have the finishing that he did. And I think in all 3 players, in Zolis, Rashica, and Sargent, the 3 attacking players we're looking to bring in, they will all incorporate Emi Buendia's best attributes. And I think that's what we've done, similar to what Villa done with Grealish when they signed Buendia, Bailey, and Ings. So that's what I think we've done there. But we're on Rashica's pre-season, again, we haven't seen enough of him. We can't really comment on how he's going to do on come the first game of the season, whether he starts or not. But I think he will be a player that excites us. I think there is a really, really good player in there. Obviously, he's going to have to adapt to the English game, never having played in this country before. But I'm very, very confident he could be a very, very key player this season. And hopefully he does step up to the mark.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. Yeah, and you made a really good point there. They've got to be able to... when you lose someone like Buendia, you need someone to come in who's going to have those kind of same attributes. And you don't necessarily need to sign £25 million player. You just need to sign a player who've got similar attributes. And yeah, I definitely like the look of Rashica. Let's go with Tracy Seaman, Lewis Azulis, and Josh Sargent signed for Norwich yet. Yeah, that's one to go on to. As you mentioned earlier in the video, Christoph Zulis, that's a real exciting player. He's hopefully going to sign before the Liverpool game. But Josh Sargent, he's arrived in Norwich. I see a lot of fans really like using the plane tracker to kind of...
fantastic. I love the transfer window. It's so good. Just seeing the plane. I've never been a man excited by planes, but when it comes to the transfer window, I can't keep off it. I love planes. I love seeing them flying to Norwich when you know there's a transfer. But I do believe Josh Sargent
definitely, mate.
Be announced tomorrow or Wednesday morning. Christoph Zolis will be later in the week, hopefully before the Liverpool game. But I think he's going to be travelling to Norwich for his medical and paperwork on after PAOK have that Europa League game on a Thursday against Bohemians. So he'll be travelling up to Norwich after that. So whether that be announced Friday evening or Saturday morning, we'll see. Whether Zolis will be in the squad at that point is yet to see. Josh Sargent should be in the squad for Liverpool because Germany are now on the green list, so no isolation for Josh Sargent.
Very good point, mate. Very good point. And yeah, I think we should go on to Josh Sargent. Of course, a lot of Norwich City fans have been really adamant on wanting to sign a striker and really increase that firepower. We've got our man in Josh Sargent, £8 million. I've seen quite a few celebrations where he does the salute. There's something very Dennis Trebeni about him, which I'm all for. What do we make? What do we make about the transfer, Doeke? Are you excited about it? £8 million. It's a lot of money for Norwich.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily excited about it, but I'm definitely apprehensive. It could go one or two ways, but I think Josh Sargent is obviously a very, very young talent. And I saw one of his goals in the Bundesliga where his movement was so similar to Teemu Pukki's. His first touch was incredible. And his confidence in front of goal for such a young player just seemed like the player we needed right now. And I'm excited to see what Josh Sargent can do. Whether he'll be, that first name on the team sheet player, I don't think so. But whether he'll be a good impact sub, maybe to actually give us a bit of firepower off the bench. Obviously, Adamida, touch and go, had a really good preseason. Don't get me wrong, but whether he'll cut it in the Premier League is yet to see. And Jordan Hugill, again, yet to see. Obviously, had his moments at West Ham, very limited moments at that. Done okay in the Championship for us. I was just second fiddle to Teemu Pukki, and when he did play, did score goals, but again, second fiddle. But I think Josh Sargent is going to be that sort of firepower we're looking for come the 80th minute when we are chasing a goal, which will inevitably happen in the Premier League at some point during the season. So, yeah, no, I do. I wouldn't say I'm excited. I'm very apprehensive about it, though. But again, I think it's a good signing for £8 million. A young striker who, looking at his attributes, does fit in with our philosophy and our style of play. Yeah, I say it's a very, very good signing.
Yeah, and I mean, Jordan Hugill's kind of best moments for West Ham was just maybe his announcement video. I can't think of many goals he's scored where he's going, really excited about blowing all the bubbles. So he didn't do great things with West Ham in the Premier League. But no, on Josh Sargent, yeah, I really like those attributes. It's really hard because as fans and when we get promoted, we want to sign players who are going to, guarantee you goals. But look, Newcastle signed Joe Linton for 45 million. Everton, signed Moise Kean. It's really hard to find that striker who's going to get you guaranteed goals. And for me, I would have liked to have seen a second choice striker, maybe with a bit more experience, who's got maybe more of a track record of scoring goals in the Premier League. But that's so hard to find. And on the point of Josh Sargent, as you mentioned, he scored some really good goals in Bundesliga. I'm really excited to see Josh Sargent play. And what kind of impact do you see him kind of having at Norwich? Maybe not just this season, but in years to come.
I think in years to come, he is definitely going to be. I think he's going to be a player where I don't know. It's an interesting one because he's young, so obviously there is potential to sell him on for a very, very big fee. But it's whether he hits that potential. I think he will be. Obviously, Pukki's aging. I reckon after next season, I reckon Josh Sargent will be he will be our out-and-out number 9, our out-and-out striker. Yeah. I do believe so. I think this season is going to he's going to play second fiddle to Pukki. And I don't see him having an instant impact, but I think we'll be able to see the qualities he does offer throughout the season. I reckon he will notch in with a few goals. He will make an impact off the bench and will be vital to us in our quest to stay up this time. So, yeah, no, it won't be an instant impact, but I reckon in the future he'll be a huge, huge player for us.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot. Let me know your comments down below about Josh Sargent. Are you excited about him? We've touched on Rashica. We've touched on Josh Sargent. Of course, Christos Zoulis is someone who is another attacking player who's really exciting. And essentially for this Buendia money, we've signed these 3 attacking players for that kind of fee. Christos Zoulis is probably, I would say, the one I'm most excited about. £10 million add-ons for around 12 million. 19 years old, and another youngster, but someone who's got so much potential. I know Manchester United have been linked with him, Borussia Dortmund, and not just his goals in Greece, but his creativity. I really hope that one gets over the line. I'm sure it will. Christoph Zulis, mate. Excited about that one. That's the one I'm most excited about, mate.
100%. And I think with signing Christoph Zulis and signing Milo Rashica, I can see Norwich learning from their mistakes in the Premier League last time. I think playing two inverted wingers, which are more creative, going more inside, don't really hit the chalks as much, and aren't as direct last time, maybe cost a bit with the slow build-up play that we had, and that didn't get us enough goals in the Premier League. I feel like we're signing two quick, direct wingers who will get down the lines and have good delivery on them. I think will suit us in the Premier League a lot more. We'll be quicker on the attack. Teams won't be able to set up quick enough against us, and I think we can break a lot more defences like this. And I think it's us learning what we've done wrong in the Premier League last time. I think Cantwell may shift in as a number 10 while starting Rashica and Zolis out wide, keeping Pookie in, who's an absolute fox in the box as it is anyway. I think we'll be seeing Norwich score a fair few more goals this season. I think this is us learning from mistakes in the Premier League last time. So I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, definitely. I can see us kind of changing to a more counter-attacking style of play. Of course, in the Championship, we use, particularly at Carrow Road, we'd have 60% of the ball when it was us trying to, break down oppositions with teams sitting back. And you needed those kind of players of your Cantwells, your Dowells, of course, your Buendias, who aren't players who necessarily are going to run beyond, but are players who are going to, be able to unlock tight spaces. This time around, I still think we're going to try and play football out from the back, but you need that pace, don't you? And I think that pace is going to be so deadly. And I'm really looking forward to that. A couple more signings I want to talk about, mate. We'll talk about both of them now, actually. Billy Gilmour and Pierre Lees-Melou. At the start of the window, Billy Gilmour was my number one. And I'm so glad Norwich signed him. So excited about the Scottish Iniesta, mate.
Cracking player, isn't he? He's absolutely mustard, he is. Honestly. Billy Gilmour, he's a Champions League winner for a reason. And why Chelsea let him go out on loan at all is absolutely beyond me. Absolutely beyond me, because Billy Gilmour is by far, in my eyes, in the top 20 best midfielders in this division.
Oh, I love that from you, Doeke.
Absolutely, mate. Every time he's put on a Chelsea shirt, he hasn't had a bad performance. Every time he's put on a Scotland shirt, he hasn't had a bad performance. And every time he's put on a Norwich shirt so far this pre-season, he hasn't had a bad performance. My dad, who was up at Newcastle away at the weekend, said the only good player for Norwich was Billy Gilmour. And it doesn't surprise me, because he's going to be Mr. Consistent for us this season. He's not that Skip replacement, but he's going to have the same level of consistency of performances that Skip had. And that's what he's going to bring to the table. And I think at a better standard as well. I think Gilmour is miles ahead above Skip. Miles ahead. And I'm really, really, really excited to see Billy Gilmour play. Yeah, you're not wrong, Doeke. I certainly agree with you, mate. The Zemok series, my mate Sam, he's a Chelsea fan as well, and he's absolutely raving and loving Billy Gilmour. It's an interesting one though. Do you think? I mean, a lot of Norwich City fans also want to sign a central defensive midfielder, and this is going to be a topic of conversation, I know, which we're going to have throughout the whole season. I think Daniel Farke sees Billy Gilmour as that central defensive midfielder, and I'm not sure whether he's that. I'm not sure whether he's the central defensive midfielder or the guy who plays next to him. I think Pierre Lees-Melou is kind of that number 8 as well, who can also play further forward. Yeah. So. How do you see? Do you think Billy Gilmour will be that kind of central defensive midfielder for Norwich? That's yet to see. I personally don't see him as a sort of someone who's going to sweep up behind the defence, but I could be absolutely wrong. I think he does offer that, but he does seem a bit too lightweight, personally. But Lees-Melou, on the other hand, that's ideal.
Yeah,
I love Pierre Lees-Melou. This is what I've been crying out for since about April. I've said this in the video on my channel where I said, look, I love Kenny McLean to pieces, and there's no disrespect to Kenny McLean as a person or a player, because I think he's absolutely fantastic. But in the Premier League, is he Premier League quality? He's not. And when you go up a division, you can't have sentiment towards players just purely because how good they've been in the previous season. or how nice they are as a person, because they may not make that step up. And we saw that.
He's very good in the Championship, mate. Very good in the Championship.
Very good.
Do you not think he was improved from last season? Because I think he's come on leaps and bounds than what he was.
I'm absolutely. I'm not disregarding that at all. But as a Premier League player, as a number 8, someone who's going to, connect the phases of player from attack to midfield. Do you think Kenny McLean's that player in the Premier League? When we're playing the likes of Liverpool, Man City, realistically?
Well, I mean, he's come leaps and bounds. I think he's someone who can certainly do that. We've seen him play at that number 10 role. I definitely don't want him see him in that number 10, but I think he's got an opportunity to do that. Don't get me wrong. I think Pierre-Lise Malou is an upgrade on Kenny, definitely. But I would be content seeing Kenny in that role.
Yeah. I mean, I think Kenny McLean can still do a job, and I'm not disregarding that. But I think in terms of quality, that's going to keep us up in the division. Pierre-Lise Malou is that player.
He's got a wand of a foot as well, hasn't he, mate?
Absolutely. That goal he scored against Chile. I think me and my mate said to each other before the game, if Lise Malou scores a hat trick, we're both going to get Lise Malou on the back of our shirts. And after that first goal went in, we just looked at each other and we're just like, oh dear, it's going to happen, isn't it? It's going to happen. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
Do have a few questions, Lewis, from Billy Dalton.
Yeah, let's get some of Billy's up.
He's a few good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for all your comments, everyone, including Billy. This is a massive one, and I love this. I love this from you, Billy. Good news: the Durham Decker is now staying. This is so important. And look, we've had youth players in the past who have got a little bit of stick. The Murphy ones are the prime example for that. And don't get me wrong, Todd is not as good as any. Of course, he was the guy who was getting all the statistics. I think 7 goals 2 seasons ago. But Todd is going to be so important for us next season. He's got this arrogance. He's got this confidence about him, which I like. And really excited to see Todd next season, mate, in a Norwich shirt, which I'm sure is going to happen.
Oh, 100%. Todd Cantwell is staying. And what Todd Cantwell is, he is the perfect example of an excellent modern footballer. He's excellent on social media. He's modern. He's trendy. And yes, he might get the stick from a few of the gammons, so to speak, I guess, that just don't like the fact that, players change. Players aren't like, Roy Keane snapping legs and don't post on social media. Players post on social media, and Todd Cantwell does it excellently, and he connects with fans, and he is a fan's favourite for so many young fans. And I love Todd Cantwell as well. He's such a fantastic player. And I think with Emmy gone, he's going to come into his own now, and he's going to take that baton from Emmy and become that player that we're looking for to create chances for Norwich City. And look, that Gillingham game, that assist, that says it all. The fact is, he had the balls to take it on, to know where Adam Eder was. That wasn't a shot. You could tell from the angle that Todd Cantwell was doing it, that was not a shot. He knew where Adam Eder is, and to perform that and to have the confidence to do that just says everything about that player. He's absolutely fantastic. And we're going to see more from Todd Cantwell this season, because we already know he can do it in the Premier League. We already know he can do it.
Yeah, definitely. I think Todd's going to come on leap and bounds, and as you say, he's going to. I think there's going to be pressure on him. I think. Let's be honest, Todd Cantwell is going to be someone as well who probably wants to move, not this summer, but he's going to be someone who wants to really impress, and he's not going to want to stay at Norwich forever. And I think another opportunity in the Premier League, particularly if he's given more freedom, maybe in that number 10 role, I definitely think he's going to thrive. And going back to one of Ben's comments here, Emmy was our best player last year. Skip may be harder to replace, but
absolutely,
it's all going to be about what Farke thinks of Billy Gilmour and whether he's going to turn him into that central defensive midfielder or centre midfielder. But for me, the player I'm most excited to see is Billy Gilmour. I think he's someone who, as you said, is a top midfielder whenever he's played in the Euros. He's man the match for Scotland. I think he's man the match in the FA Cup on his debut. Just every game he plays, he's always putting in high quality performances. And even in the pre-season games, look, it's Kings Lynn. Kings Lynn, of course, are not the best team, but when you see Billy play, he's got such a grace about him, such an intelligence for a young age. He's the player I'm most excited to see. And I think he could replace Skip. I'm really undecided whether he is.
I think the only person who could replace Skip is Skip, and that's me being honest. I think he's that pivotal to us, and I think look, there's a very, very slim chance we're going to get Skip back, but I dare to dream. I want Skip back because the fact is, Skip he was the perfect fit for us. He was the perfect fit last season. He was the ideal player that we needed to, make sure that the defence had cover. And, we conceded a lot less goals with Skip there. And don't get me wrong, Emmy was our best player. And we can replace Emmy in some sense, in the sense that we can alter our attacking formation and attacking style of play like I previously spoke about. But with Skip, however, I feel like we're going to find a lot more difficult areas, because are we going to find someone who's going to fit that role and stop us conceding in the Premier League, which has been a struggle of ours for God knows how many years, whenever we've gone up? Yeah, the only person who I can see doing that job and doing that job instantly is Oliver Skip himself.
Yeah,
but again, Ben Gilmore could be that man. I could be completely wrong, but from my opinion, Oliver Skip's the only man that can do it.
Yeah. I think still Billy's the one I'm most excited about. What signing are you most excited about, Doeke, as we kind of end?
Pierre Lees-Malou. Absolutely, I just love Lees-Malou. I love him. Love him to pieces.
He looks so good. Yeah, he looks so good, and it could be a really pivotal player. I think he's someone who's going to be very progressive. He's got a real good all-round game about him, hasn't he? He can break up play, good passer of the ball, cracking shot, and an amazing chant as well, which I'm hoping is going to be a Vindaloo chant. That's going to happen.
That'd be sung around. It was sung around at Gillingham. It'll be sung around again.
There we go. We know. Finally, kind of on this transfer window discussion, and guys, please leave your comments down below. See quite a few comments coming in. I will get into them. Doeke, how would you rate the transfer window so far?
Out of 10?
Out of 10. Let's quantify it. Out of 10. For me, I'll go with a 6 so far.
Yeah, I was going to go 6. I think there's still deals to be done. Once the Solis and Sargent deals are over the line, and we look like we're going to be signing either a centre defensive midfielder or a centre half, I may push it up to 7 or 8. But at the moment, it's sticking at 6. I think that's fair. I think we've still got areas to fill, and we have sold our best player, which is shooting ourselves in the foot before we've even started. However, we can see why it's happened now. But I think 6 out of 10 is fair enough.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so. And it will be a really interesting one. For me, 2 more signings are needed: a centre-back and central defensive midfielder. Doeke, any other kind of positions that need strengthening, mate?
You've hit the nail on the head there. Obviously, after Solis and after Sargent, the only 2 positions that we do desperately need are a centre defensive midfielder and a centre half.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Let's go through a couple of comments here before we turn to Liverpool. We've got Lillian Rama, who is an Aston Villa fan. Emi Martinez or Krul? I think
Emi Martinez, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I'm backing your Dutch brother, Doeke. You're not backing your Dutch brother.
I'm the biggest fan, but Emi Martinez is probably the second best goalkeeper in the Premier League.
Yeah, I love Martinez. I'm a big fan of Krul, but I think Martinez is really, really good. Yeah. And also that she asked, as a Villa fan, where do you think Villa will finish? I think Villa could do very well this season and be pushing for Europe. What about you, mate? Obviously losing Jack Grealish, but we've watched Emi Buendia play for a few seasons now, and we just know what he's going to be.
I mean, was it Lillian Rama asked that question? Well, if you want to go watch my Premier League prediction video, that's on my channel. You'll find out where Villa finished. But I'll give you a little sneak peek. I put Villa as 6th in the league.
Wow,
as high as 6th. I think their attacking force next season will be ferocious and will be very, very difficult to defend against for a lot of teams. Leon Bailey with the pace on one wing, Emi Buendia with his creativity on the other, with Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins on the end of it. It's a scary front 4.
Yeah, definitely that, mate. It'd be a really interesting one. Ed Hines, do you think we will sign a centre back? I really think we need to. I think particularly when you look at the Newcastle game, as I said, we're still on transfer discussion. I think everyone loves talking about transfers. In regards to the centre-back issue, in Newcastle, we played that back 3 of with Gibson, Zimmerman, and Andrew Omobamidele. Zimmerman looked well off the pace, and I love Zimmerman. I think he's a great servant to the club, but obviously I want him to stay at the club. I think he's a really good leader, but she shouldn't be starting in the Premier League. And for me, he should be a 5th choice centre back. I think we really need to sign a centre-back who's going to really push Gibson and Grant Hanley. I don't mind it being someone who's a little bit older, maybe on a loan deal or a 2-year deal. If he's in the wage bracket, why not go for Gary Cahill? I think that, and also if you look at it, and this is something I really want to stress. When you look at us signing someone like Ben Gibson, we signed him for £8 million. Let's say, how long does a footballer stay at a club, Doeke? About 5 years, roughly?
3 to 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, let's be optimistic and says Ben Gibson stays at Norwich for 5 years. You're essentially paying £1.6 million to that club every single season. Of course, typically it's paid in 1 or 2 installments, but you're essentially paying 1.6 million to have him a season. That's essentially what, 30 grand wages each week. You're essentially paying 30 grand per week. If you're signing someone like Gary Cahill, he's going to be on a free transfer, so you don't have to worry about that. It's only going to be for a couple of seasons. Yes, Gary Cahill will be one of the most expensive, probably the most expensive on the books, but what Gary Cahill would bring is a real experience. You saw at Crystal Palace just how good he was. I don't think we should be signing the likes of Gary Cahill's, every single transfer window. We're not Burnley, but for someone who's going to really improve our centre-back position in the short term and someone who's going to help, Ben Gibson, Grant Hanley with experience, of course, Omar Babadeli, I think someone like a Gary Cahill would be a beautiful signing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think Gary Cahill is ideal. There is another question from Billy Dalton that I'm interested to answer. It's about Max Aarons, or Max Aarons, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah, let's get it up.
Yeah. I believe he's going to stay.
I think Max is going to stay too, mate.
I don't see why he would leave. He's guaranteed Premier League minutes. He's going to be playing behind Christos Zolis. That's going to be an exciting partnership. It's going to be pace all round. And I think, I think Max will stay another season. And then depending on where we finish and how we do, he will then probably go after that. But I don't see him going, especially not to Arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really interesting one, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Max Aarons play. I can't see him going. Of course, last season he was linked with Bas. If I'm Max Aarons, though, I'm going to be a little peed off because, of course, you're being linked to Barcelona, which would be an incredible opportunity for him. A lot of the Norwich players were joking around at the start of the season, calling him Dani Alves, and obviously he's been persuaded to stay one more season at Norwich, and I don't think any big club's going to come in for him this summer. And then suddenly you're like, well, I had the opportunity to go to Barcelona, and now I'm stuck at Norwich. But in a way, I think that will make him want to, prove himself even further to try and get a move, because Max Aarons is going to be someone in a year's time who's not going to be at Norwich, in my opinion.
No, absolutely not. Obviously, Norwich, we aren't the type of club to keep hold of our best players for years on years on years on years. They are going to move on at some point. But yeah. But looking over to Liverpool now, I mean, I think we could do well. I think we could do well against Liverpool.
Yeah. Liverpool's going to be a really interesting one. Doeke, I want to put this question to you. What on earth is going to happen on Saturday? I've got no idea what to expect. The first time back in 18 months. I've just got no idea what to expect against Liverpool. I don't know what it's going to be like at Carrow Road. Of course, it's going to be very emotional. 27,000 people coming to Norwich. People, kids as young as 2 or 3 years old, and adults coming together. Granddads, grandparents, getting on now. This is what I love football. It's the community aspect, and with Norwich, they're a club who have still got that community spirit about them, but also are a really big club in terms of community clubs. I kind of want to put it in that bracket. So yeah, I think it's going to be really emotional. 25,000 people, 25,000 Norwich fans returning to Carrow Road, and what on earth is going to happen against Liverpool? What's it going to be like being at Carrow Road? What's going to happen on the pitch? I've got no idea, mate.
It's going to be emotional. I think the atmosphere is going to be absolutely outstanding from both sets of fans, may I add, because both sets of fans will be up for it, because the fact this is the first time I've seen a football game for 18 months. I'm excited for it. I think every fan is on the pitch. However, like I said earlier, it's going to be 0-0. We're going to defend valiantly. Andrew Omobamidele is going to have the game of his life, and we're going to see Tom Sargent come for a lethargic Timu Pukki in the 77th minute. And 88th minute, we get a corner somehow after a very, very quick counter-attack from Milo Rashica. And, Pierre Leesmalou whips in that corner, and Josh Sargent rises highest, nods one in front of the Barclay, salutes the Barclay, and just gives a middle finger to the away fans. And I'm all for it. That is what's going to happen on the pitch.
I would love to see that. I'd love to see it. I think a lot of fans are going to be kind of imagining those scenarios up on the pitch. Yeah, I've got no idea what's going to happen in this Liverpool game. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below in terms of tactics and predictions. And almost, I don't want to sound too, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to sound too neglectful or whatever the word is. But for this one game, and this is going to sound a bit bad, for this one game, I don't particularly care about the result. And I know that's going to sound really bad.
I
know it's going to sound really bad, but this is Liverpool. We're not expected to get any points against this. This is not like we're playing a Watford or a Brentford who's going to be a rival. This is against Liverpool. And for the first time in 18 months to have a packed out Carrow Road, it's just going to be brilliant to, have granddads, grandparents, going with their grandchildren, lots of friends meeting up, lots of families meeting up in local pubs in Norwich. And Norwich has really suffered, as is everywhere, pubs being closed, restaurants being closed. So to see, all these places who are going to get a lot of revenue and a lot of support is going to be beautiful. And that's what football's all about. It's that community spirit. And I'm just so looking forward to seeing fans at Carrow Road, mate, and that all experience to come back again in the Premier League.
Absolutely hit the nail on the head there. Absolutely, definitely cannot wait.
Of course, on the pitch, Norwich, 2-0 win, Rashica and Sargent off the bench. It's going to happen, isn't it? Do we know how many away fans are coming over? It's going to be
between 2 and 3, isn't it? 2,000 and 3,000, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be the full out capacity, isn't it? As much as possible.
Yeah.
Billy again. Hello, Billy. Thanks for all your comments. I see you're an Arsenal fan here, and there's a few questions which are Arsenal themed, which I've like. Have you bought any of the free shirts? I haven't. I'm not particularly a massive shirt buyer. I'm more just keeping in my retro shirt. But yeah, Liverpool. Tactically, how do you think it's going to play out? Because as we saw in the Championship, Norwich were just electrifying, playing out from the back. Liverpool, of course, are one of the best pressing teams in England, and I'm fascinated to see how Daniel Farke is going to adapt again to the Premier League, because he adapted to the Championship really well this time around. I know we won the league, but we were even better. How are we going to come at this game tactically, mate?
I think we've got to overpack the midfield. I think we've got to stop Liverpool in their tracks before they get too far forward. I think by overpacking the midfield, playing more of a midfield 3 than a midfield 2 will definitely benefit us. And I think so. We'll obviously start with Tim Krul in goal, and I think we have to play a 4-back. We've seen that a 3 or a 5-back does not work for Norwich. It hasn't. It does not work. Because the fact is Hanley's out for the first couple of games. So who are we going to stick there? Christoph Zimmerman? Absolutely not. Not against Liverpool. I don't want to lose 5-0 in the first game of the season. Don't get me wrong. I don't care about the result, but I don't want to get embarrassed for the first time back at Carrow Road. So I think we'll play Omobamidele, who I think is matured enough, and he will be fantastic. He'll play alongside Ben Gibson, who is a great mentor, and will be fantastic for us, alongside Giannoulis and Max Aarons as the fullbacks. I think that back 5 will be that back 5 for the opening game. And looking at the 3 in midfield, so I'm going to go pretty much bog standard 4-3-3 here. I want to see us play Lucas Rupp.
Rook to start against Liverpool, really, Doeke.
He's had a really good
pre-season. An impressive pre-season. Is he a starter?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lucas Rupp is a starter. When he's fit, nowadays, this is the thing, he's very similar to Mario Vrancic. When he first joined, he didn't look too great. He was being played out of position. You've got to remember that Premier League season. It's been put out wide. The bloke's an 8 or a 10. So
yeah,
when he played for Norwich last season, played as that 10, he looked fantastic. Remember that Nottingham Forest game? He ran the game. He was fantastic, and Lucas Rupp will. Yeah, I think he'll start alongside Leesmalou and Gilmour, and then.
I mean, Doeke, I am a Lucas Rupp fan, but I just cannot see it starting against Liverpool. I think, of course, you got Billy Gilmour, Pierre Leesmalou in there, and it's going to be a really interesting one in terms of and it's going to be an interesting one for Norwich throughout the whole season in terms of that number 10, because you've obviously got Cantwell.
I'm not saying Lucas Ritt will play as at number 10. I'm saying Lucas Ritt will play as more of an 8. We'll play 2 8s and a 6 effectively. Gilmore's sitting as that 6 and played 2 8s, because the fact is we're going to have to play counter-attack football against Liverpool. I think Andy Robertson's going to be out. We can beat him down pace with the wings, which is why Rashica I think should start, and we'll start Cantwell on the other flank, and with Pookie or Ida up top, one of the two. Because I know Ida's obviously started a lot pre-season, so we could see Farke go with him, obviously preferably team with Pookie. But I think we do need to overpack the midfield, and we do need a midfield three that will not necessarily sit, but won't be sort of, we won't have a midfielder joining as a second striker and leave the midfield a bit open against Liverpool, because otherwise they're going to run right against us. We know the pace they offer, and look, if we play a compact sort of 8, I guess, in the sense of the 3 midfielders and the forward at back and a goalkeeper, we'll be giving ourselves the best chance possible. When we're on the offensive, the formation can completely change. Lucas Ritt will Pierre Lees-Malou can push up as at number 10 in my eyes, and help out with the attack. But I think as a base formation, I want to see us play a bog standard 4-3-3 or a 4. Well, is that a second variation? A defensive 4-3-3 variation.
Yeah. To be fair, I like the shape. Kieran Dow is someone I like, but for me, and it sounds so harsh. It sounds so harsh to kind of not be critical of Kieran Dow. I think he's a really good footballer. And obviously, he kind of matched the goal tally of Todd Cantwell last season. It
was fantastic on that back end. He was fantastic on that back end of the season. Well, it probably was our best player in the back end of last season. But I don't think
this game.
Yeah, for this game, it's not. It doesn't scream out for a Kieran Dow. It doesn't. Maybe we're looking at maybe Arsenal in a few weeks where their defence can easily be split open. It's going to scream for a Kieran Dow, absolutely. But when you're playing the likes of Liverpool and Man City, and you know they're going to be constantly on your back, you need to have that midfield compact, numbers in there, and by doing that, exactly, energy. And Lucas Ritt offers energy.
You're really on the Lucas Ritt train. I agree completely with the team. I'd play Kenny instead of Lucas Ritt.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah.
I think Kenny maybe hasn't had the same amount of minutes as Lucas Ritt, but for me, Kenny just offers a little bit more. He's probably better physically in the air. Someone who can get about the pitch maybe a little bit more. I like Lucas Ritt, but I wouldn't start him. But I think that sounds right. It's about being compact. We know Liverpool like to play with their 4-3-3. And I definitely think there's an opportunity to beat Liverpool. I think there's always a few shocks towards the start of the season. Of course, Liverpool didn't look great in the kind of club friendlies. Van Dijk still can't complete 90 minutes of football. Trent's coming back from injury, as you say. Robertson's injured. There's definitely an opportunity to get something on this first game of the season. And Norwich aren't fully prepared for this game. Grant Hanley's going to be out, and we've got a couple of players who are still not in. But there's an opportunity here, mate, isn't there? There's an opportunity to spring a surprise on the first game of the season, which would be beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's an opportunity in every single game we play, and it's about how we tactically set up against these sort of teams. Like we've both said, we want compact, patient, resilience, and I think that's what we need. Those 3 attributes is what we need from all our players on Saturday. Whereas if we play a Watford or a Brentford or someone lower down the table, we want to see maybe more attacking, flowing football that will break the lines of the opposition. But obviously for this game, I think, we it's a real opportunity. I think with Liverpool's injuries and concerns that they have, and lackluster transfer window, if I may add as well, only brought in Ibrahim Konate from Leipzig, who again hasn't played English football. We don't know how he's gonna perform. Todd Cantwell could have an absolute field day. They haven't replaced Gini Wijnaldum.
Doeke, I'm getting excited, Doeke. Don't do this to me. I'm getting excited here.
That's the Norwich way, isn't it? We're getting it's all going to come back down to break us. Unfortunately, I can see it out. But no, I really do think that I want to see us keep a clean sheet. I think that's one thing I really want to see us do: keep a clean sheet. Just because I think it should be great for Norwich to see that we can defend against the big guns and we can keep clean sheets. Obviously, when we beat Man City 3-2, yeah, it was great. We were a great force going forward, but defensively there were still gaps and not good gaps. So I want to see us keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. I know it's a big ask, and I want to see us get 3 points. But the fact is, in football, you dream, and right now I'm dreaming. So, and hopefully they come true on Saturday.
Yes, definitely, mate. You got me goosebumps there. You know, goosebumps were going there properly. Yeah, I think there's an opportunity, as you say. It's being patient, being compact, energy across the midfield, and yeah, maybe being on the counter attack, but still playing our football. It can definitely work. Evening, lads. Hello, Adam. Hope you're doing well, my friend. This is an interesting one. Would you take Harvey Elliott on loan? I would love to take Harvey Elliott on loan, but it's not happening. I mean, I think Harvey Elliott's probably going to start in this game. He's been really, of course, he did very good things for Blackburn. We had Blackburn didn't really do too well last season in the Championship. They finished.
He was their key player. Obviously, alongside Adam Armstrong, he was their key player, I guess. So, yeah, they had a great season last season. Would I take him on loan? No.
Really?
No.
I don't. Doeke, I think he's gonna play in this game. I think if you look at their friendlies, it'll probably be
he's an English
Firmino, Harvey Elliott.
He's an English Przemysław Poeta.
Oh God.
That's all he is. That's all he is.
An English Poeta.
Yeah. I'll say it on my chest.
Say it on chest. Do you think Poeta's gonna, score a goal? Do you think he's gonna do anything this season?
The less I say about the man, the less I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not as big. I want to see him do well. I love a pace merchant. But that's all he is. He is just a pace merchant. That's all he is.
Yeah, I think he needs a loan, doesn't he, to get accustomed to English football.
Yeah. But
Curtis Jones on loan. There's another one.
It's a midfielder. Who is Poeta?
Yeah.
Is he good enough for the Premier League?
I think that's what all Norwich fans have been asking themselves.
Who is Poeta, and is he good enough for the Premier League? No. So yeah, well, I don't see Poeta doing anything this season. I want to see Onel Hernandez do something this season. I want to see him on the bench, and I want to see him come on, because I reckon in the Premier League, where it's more, the game's quicker. It's with Norwich in the Championship, there's a lot of build-up play. It wasn't as fast-paced, maybe. In the Premier League, we've got to be quick, and I think Onel Hernandez will shine. Obviously, we saw against, I think, Manchester United at home. He came off the bench and went on an incredible solo run and scored. So, I could see a few of our wingers definitely coming into their own. I think it's where Zolis and Rashica coming. Poeta is the Polish Dan James, yes, but not the Welsh. I mean, I never know Poeta was Welsh. I mean, it's news to me. Probably we're still getting their international team though.
Yeah. I mean, they've got Harry Wilson playing. He's probably the most overrated player about in my opinion. But yeah, guys, any other final comments? Any predictions for the Liverpool game?
Do you have any questions on Instagram?
Yeah, I've put a few up. We'll be answering them in a minute, mate. We've got a few questions, which are quite interesting ones. But yeah, any final predictions, guys, in the comment section? Please put them in. One final kind of question, Doeke. I was touching on it earlier. Carrow Road is going to be full. How are you feeling about finally going back to Carrow Road?
Buzzing. Honestly, words can't describe. I mean, I've got a long week of work ahead. So I just want to get that done. It's going so slow at the minute. It's only been Monday, and it's going so slow because I'm just so looking forward to get back to Carrow Road. It's just emotional to think that we on Saturday at this time we'll have just seen Josh Sargent scored a winner against Liverpool. It's just emotional, you know what I mean?
The American Eagle.
It is, and obviously the American Eagle Sargent has landed in Norfolk now as well. So all good things. All good things at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely buzzing for it, mate. I think it's going to be brilliant. It's been 18 months since we've been allowed at Carrow Road in terms of a sellout. So it's going to be a brilliant moment. And if we can top it off with a win, if we can top it off with a Josh Sargent goal or a Andrew Omobamidele scoring with his backside, then I'll be for it, mate. I'll be for it. Yeah, let's finally turn to some Q&A questions. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments. In the description are the socials for Norwich City Central. So if you fancy getting involved and asking any Q&A questions on Instagram or Twitter, then please feel free to do so. And of course, we have Dooke's channel in the description as well. So go ahead and check that out, definitely. I've got a few questions up here. Let's go with Dazza Fordy transfer rumours. Now, very vague. It's kind of more of a statement, but with that, give me someone who's exciting you. There's not really too many rumours about, but give me someone who you'd like to see sign. Start a rumour, Doeke. Start a rumour on here now.
There's only one name that's come into my head right now. There's only one name. Oliver Skipp.
Yeah.
There's only one name. Sorry, but the idol player. And I'm going to put another one out there. And I saw Ian Gabelli tweet about this. And Paddy McNair.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan. The bloke can play as a CDM and as a centre half and can perform brilliantly there as well. Yeah, obviously didn't have the greatest time when he was, I think, Man United and Sunderland. But when he signed for Middlesbrough, he really came into his own last season. And after speaking to AJT, who is a Middlesbrough fan, a lot about Middlesbrough and about Paddy McNair. He's been telling me how good he is at his job, and I really would not mind seeing him in a Norwich shirt.
Yeah, I like that shout. And as you say, it's kind of two birds, one stone.
Exactly.
He's someone who can fill in at centre back and central defensive midfield. Oliver Skipp, yeah, that'd be quality. I think he started it against Arsenal in the friendly, so yeah, I think it's unlikely. I think Oliver Skipp's is kind of in Nuno's plans, but yeah, if we could get Oliver Skipp, that would kind of be the proper mix, the missing piece in the jigsaw. And Skipp with Billy Gilmore, with Cantwell in the number 10. That I can see it in your eyes, mate. That's really exciting.
That's exciting me. That is. I love a good midfield. When you say that midfield, the goosebumps are back. But yeah, what else? What other questions have you got?
What formation do you think we will play, and who are you most excited to see? Let's go with that formation for the whole season. Yeah, we kind of touched on it, but I still think we're going to play the 4-back. I don't think we're going to have the centre back.
Yeah. We'll play the 4-2-3-1, I think, for the majority of the season. I think we'll see maybe some more defensive formations, still the 4-back, but some more defensive formations when we're playing the bigger teams, like I previously spoke about. But yeah, I think 4-2-3-1, our usual formation that has been probably since I've been watching Norwich, will probably be our formation. But yeah.
And who are you most excited to see play, Doeke?
Yeah,
should we say on 3? Oh,
free. Okay, I've just said Pierre-Lee Salou.
Let's pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
On 3, yeah?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Pierre-Lee Salou.
There we are. Yes.
Something like that.
He's a magician, though. He's just so good. I love him.
Yeah, I think it's a real steal. £5 million. He gives you everything. Looks really good. I mean, you were there, Gillingham, Tuesday night. How was he, mate?
It was incredible. His partnership with Billy Gilmore as well was absolutely fantastic as well. Like, it was really Premier League quality. Obviously against Newcastle, it looked a bit shaky. I was a bit like, oh dear Christ. But that's more defensive issues because Christoph Zimmermann simply doesn't have the ability to defend anymore, which is really sad to see. But Billy Gilmore and Pierre-Lee Salou are class.
Yeah. Thanks for that comment, Cameron, and thanks for all the support on the channel. We're going to have one final question here, Doeke, before we wrap up the stream. All Norwich 2, that's meant to be 3 key players to keep us up. So maybe should we go with a defensive player and then kind of more attacking
a midfield player and attacking player? And I think defensive player to kind of keep us up. And I think I don't know. A lot of people may agree with me here, but I think not many people will say it as their first option. But for me, it'd be Dimitris Giannoulis.
Wow, shout! That's a good shout.
I think the great left back offers everything. He is the ideal example of an excellent modern left back. Andy Robertson is the Scottish Dimitris Giannoulis. That's how good Dimitris Giannoulis will be in the Premier League, and I think he'll be very, very key for us. So yeah, that's my defensive shout. What was yours?
Defensive shout for me, Ben Gibson. I'm going to go Ben Gibson. I think he's been such a good signing. Hardly put a foot wrong. And Grant Hanley got the second best player of the season, but Ben Gibson was brilliant as well. Absolutely brilliant. I think he's someone who gives you experience, gives you leadership. And yeah, I'm really excited to see Ben in it. And he's going to want to prove himself in the Premier League because he's been excellent in the Championship. He was knocking on the door for England a few years back before his injury and before Burnley neglected him. So I think Ben Gibson, I'm really excited to see him, and I think he's going to have a very good season. And I'm going to put it out there. He's my kind of shout for player of the season or right up there. I think he's just going to have a really good season.
What about midfield, Lewis? Obviously, I think we're both going to say the same player here. Well, or one of the two players. But obviously, we'll say that player. Now, I think another midfield shout. So the midfield area, we'll include wide players as well. Well, actually, no, because wide players are kind of forward players. But we'll include all the midfield positions, centre attacking midfield, all the way down to centre defensive midfield. Obviously, I think we're both going to say same with one or two players. Obviously, I think it's either Pierre Lees-Malou or Billy Gilmore.
Yeah. Should we say it on 3 again? Should we have another guess? 3. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Billy
Pierre Lees-Malou.
I've tricked you that time. Yeah, Pierre Lees-Malou, mate. I'm really excited to see him play. We've touched on him many times, but for me, Billy Gilmore, I think he's someone who's going to play every single minute if he's fit enough to. Yeah, it's so exciting. And look, he did it on the main stage in the Euros, for goodness sake. You know, he put Mason Mount and you know, a lot of attacking players to shame that night. He's got so much experience. You mentioned it earlier, the top 20 midfielders in the Premier League. Yeah, I think Billy Gilmore is going to be excellent. I think if he plays alongside a central defensive midfield position, he's going to do even better. And Pierre Lees-Malou, mate, why is he going to be a key player for Norwich? What is he going to bring on the pitch?
He's going to bring pure vibes. Pure vibes.
He's just going to be French on the pitch, right?
He's going to be incredible. He is literally the second coming of Zidane. That's what he is. He's the second coming of Zidane. He's going to headbutt Mo Salah, and I cannot wait for it.
Yeah. I'm
an outsider choice, I think, for me would have to be midfield position, outsider choice. Do you know what? I think a lot of us are writing off Jakob Sorensen.
I don't think he's going to play much, mate. I don't think he's going to play much.
No, we're all writing him off. But we all written him off.
He's going to play.
But we all written him off at the start of last season, thinking like, what's the point of signing him? He ain't going to play. Came out left back, done a stellar job. Whenever he played, he didn't put really a foot wrong. And I really do think there's going to come a time where we're going to call him, and he's going to step up to the mark again. And yeah, I think we're writing him off way too early.
Yeah, could even be an outside shout to play against Liverpool. Who knows? Finally, one other key player. Let's go for an attacking player, whether that be a striker or a wide man. For me, I'm going to go Teemu Pukki. I think it's, you know, so important you have your goal scorer. You know, you survive through scoring goals, and it's going to be a big season for Teemu Pukki. He's done it. He's done it on the big stage for Norwich for several years now. You know, 29 Championship goals, 26 Championship goals, I think it was last season, 11 Premier League goals, which, okay, the second half of the season he was pretty pants, but Pukki was excellent. And for me, it's going to be interesting without his main man, Buendia, even without Stiepermann, who, you know, has helped him play. But for me, I'm so excited to see Pukki. He might have to adapt to Rashika's game and Zulis's play, and that he's not going to be someone who's going to be great in terms of crossing. I mean, he's okay at crossing, but I don't think he's going to be someone who's going to get his head to many crosses. So although Rashika and Zulis will be quick, I think it will suit Norwich if we play it into Pukki's feet and get him running in behind. I think Pukki's going to have another season where he gets double digits, and I think we're going to be seeing the Pukki party many times this season. Absolutely.
But for me, mine's got to be Todd Cantwell. Absolutely got to be Todd Cantwell. He's going to come into his own. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to make sure that Pukki does also have the opportunity to run in behind the defence and play to his strengths in that area of the field, whereas Zolis and Rashica will make sure that Pukki can also be that fox in the box for us. Maybe not with headers, but, you know, with balls on the floor, flying around on the floor, Pukki will get on the end of them and do what he is good at. So, yeah, for me, it will be Todd Cantwell. I think he's going to be absolutely fantastic for us this season. And now when Deere gone, he's going to take that spotlight. And be our best player, if I'm honest. He's going to be our best player this coming season.
Player of the season?
Todd Cantwell. Or Pierre Lees-Malou, one of the two. But realistically...
you can't neglect Pierre Lees-Malou, can you, mate?
I can never neglect Pierre Lees-Malou. I'm going to get a statue of him built in my bedroom. I really am. But no, it's going to be Todd Cantwell for me. I think with the stats that I believe he'll produce this season, it could, for me, in my eyes, that what I believe he'll produce will keep us up.
Yeah, I think Todd Cantwell is going to be a hell of a player, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. I think we're going to end it there. We've been going for exactly an hour. Doeke, thank you so much for coming on. How have you found it, mate? It's been great to
enjoyed it.
Mate.
Enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and cannot wait to do one after we beat Liverpool. Cannot wait.
Of course, mate. Yeah, I think I want to end on one key point. Doeke, you really got me going. Very, very much. You got me really excited earlier. Can you tell me what's going to happen in this Liverpool game? We've got still viewers watching. Give me your prediction. What is going to happen Saturday, 5:30 kickoff, back at Carrow Road against Liverpool?
We're going to defend valiantly. We're going to be resilient. We're going to be fantastic. Andrew Bamadelli is going to have the game of his life. Ben Gibson's going to be an absolute man mountain. Giannoulis is going to be absolutely fantastic. Max Aarons is going to be an absolute dynamite. And it's going to be 0-0 all the way till the 88th minute. Teemu Pukki has gone off because he's tired, and Josh Sargent has come on the field. He's got the fans jeering. He's got them excited already. In the 88th minute, we get a corner. Pierre-Lise Malou is taking this corner. He whips it in. Josh Sargent gets his ginger head on it. It goes in front of the Barkley. He salutes the Barkley, gives his middle finger up to the Liverpool fans, tells them to fuck off home, and we go away at 3 points, and it finishes 1-0 to Norwich City.
I love that, mate. I love that. And I'm looking forward to that happening. And we're going to have a lot of fun, mate. Doeke, thank you so much for coming on, mate. I've really appreciated it. Yeah, hopefully we'll be back again after the Liverpool game when we're talking about a win. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments. I've really appreciated it. And it's been great to have you guys all here for the game. So thank you for watching. Subscribe to Norwich City Central if you're new. Doeke, one more time, mate. Talk to me through the channel, mate. Talk to me through your channel. And but before we do, obviously, if you are a fan of Norwich City Central, Doeke does very similar content. So if you're not subscribed, get the link in the description. Doeke Dobma, subscribe to him. Doeke, what can people expect from you?
Obviously, like I say, similar content, but also with a twist. There is a difference to the content. I think, obviously do matchday experiences. Do obviously reviews, previews, do weekly roundups discussing all the news going around Norwich City that maybe goes off the pitch rather than on it. Do all sorts of content and planning to do so much more this season. I'm going to have guests coming on from different content creators from different clubs. So yeah, really exciting stuff coming up on my channel. So obviously, if you enjoy Norwich City content, please go subscribe over there. It would mean the world to me. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely go and head over and subscribe to Doeke. Doeke, thank you very much for coming on. I'm going to salute. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you later.